Hello friend, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm kind of giving you a 2-for-1 in this video. So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to title this video yet because it started out with me wanting to show you 4 different ways to hand letter the same word, just to give you some examples for how you can change things up when it comes to your hand lettering. But then I decided to do it in my new hand lettering journal, and so it's also kind of page 2 of my hand lettering journal, and it actually ended up being more than 4 different ways. I think it is 10 ways. You will see 11 here, but I'll explain why when we get to that point in the video. But I just wanted to share with you both some inspiration for creating new styles when it comes to hand lettering, and also some inspiration for creating a hand lettering journal. So one of the ways that you could use a hand lettering journal is to just hand letter the same word over and over in as many different styles as you can think of. I think this is such a great practice for finding your own hand lettering style, and also finding which styles look good combined, because a lot of times when we are doing quotes or like longer phrases, it's nice to combine a print style with a script style. And so I think just playing around with different styles and seeing what you prefer and seeing what you like together, and maybe even what you don't like together, or what you don't even like to hand letter at all, can really be helpful when it comes to creating your own unique hand lettering style. So for this video, I was actually going to use different tools, because you can actually create quite a different look with your hand lettering simply by changing the tools that you're using. So you might hand letter the same way, but then if you use a large brush pen, it's going to look different than if you use a small brush pen or a dip pen or a monoline pen. So you could hand letter the same word like 10 times with 10 different tools, and each of those words could look different even though you kind of use the same technique. But as I got going, I thought it would be kind of a fun challenge to create different hand lettering styles using the same paintbrush and the same paint. So this is actually not even the type of paintbrush that I usually use for hand lettering. I usually use a Pentel Gouache water brush, but this was just a bigger paintbrush that I was using from an earlier project, and so I thought that it would be a good challenge. If you are in the Letter Together school, I am going to create a printable worksheet based off of these different styles so that you can practice each of these 10 styles that you'll see. So you can find that in the bonus worksheet section in Letter Together if you want to practice this too, or put this in your own hand lettering journal. So for the first one, I kind of just went for an upright, basic script brush lettered style, and then the next one I decided to do kind of a taller capital letters, not necessarily a block style, but kind of a more narrow capital letters print style. The third one, I did a more stretched out bouncy style where there isn't a whole lot of variation between thick and thin. I would not call any of these true monoline because I am using a brush pen, so you do see a little bit of variation even when I'm trying not to have thick and thin strokes. That's just kind of how it goes. And then the fourth one is a more stretched out kind of bouncy brush style that just has kind of a more subtle difference between the thick and thin strokes. And then number 5 is just some experimentation there. I think that I was going to create my G differently, but it ended up coming out like quite a circle. So I decided to just play with this more unique lowercase g. So yeah, that was just definitely me experimenting. And number 6 is another brush script. It's a little bit more tall than the first one I did, and maybe a little bit more bouncy. I also changed up how I created the F and the L by adding some loops there instead of just the straight lines. So that's another way that you can change up your brush script depending on what you prefer. Oh, and the R also does have a loop. So that's one thing you can think of right away if you're trying to come up with your own style. Do you prefer your brush script to have like loops and curves, or do you just prefer like a more straight and clean look? The next one, I'm just combining some lowercase and uppercase print letters together. I do that a lot, and I have certain letters that I tend to leave capitalized, and certain ones that I pretty much always do lowercase, and then some that I just mix and match depending on the word. And when I'm creating a more casual script look like I am doing in the next one, sometimes I like to break apart my letters and not connect every single one, so you can see that the R and the A are not connected, and then the T and the E are not connected. That's just kind of another way that you can add a unique touch to your hand lettering. So number 9, I'm doing print and kind of leaving it a more monoline style. Like I said, it's not true monoline because I'm using a brush pen. but I'm trying to just keep my strokes thin, and so I'm just using the end of my paintbrush to create that look. And so then this next one is technically number 10, but I was kind of going for a more block style of lettering, but it ended up just looking really similar to number 2. So I tried it again, and I think I got it where it's a little bit more stretched out, a little bit wider of lettering rather than the taller, more narrow letters. I couldn't fit it all on one line, but that's okay. It is just practice, and just getting your practice onto the paper can feel really hard sometimes, but sometimes you just have to start, and I think you have to kind of give yourself permission to create things that maybe you don't like. I don't love every single style on this page, but this is how I have come up over the years with different lettering styles. I create lots of different lettering styles with my printable worksheets. I'm not even sure how many I have at this point, but I create so many different styles, and I try to create cohesive alphabets that look good together. And so it can be difficult to come up with a whole style that's your own and that's unique, because I don't want to just create a bunch of the same worksheets. I want them to be different, and I want them to stand out, and so it can be really tricky. So just give yourself permission, if you are struggling with this exercise, to create hand lettering that you may not like and you may not want to show anybody, and that's completely okay, because hopefully through that you'll find some things that you actually do love, some things that just feel totally like you and that you are really proud of. And so sometimes we just have to do the work of creating a bunch of stuff we don't like before we get to the stuff that is really our unique hand lettering style. So I hope that this was helpful for you. I hope that this gave you some inspiration for your own hand lettering notebook. This is page 2. I do plan on posting other videos, but I have been really wanting to try out a bunch of different things in my hand lettering notebook or my hand lettering journal. I'm not really sure what to call it. So I may have a few more of these videos, but I will get to posting some other types of hand lettering videos as well. Let me know if you have any suggestions, or if you have anything specific that you would like to see or that you like to do in your own hand lettering journal. If you missed page 1 of my hand lettering journal, I will link that here. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you are in Letter Together, make sure to go grab that bonus printable, and I will see you in my next video.